Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Shay. I wanted to um, put out a message as we get ready to enter into Holy Week. I wasn't necessarily going to do that this year, but my wife was like, "Man, that was so good last year. I want you to do it again." And so last year I put out just like a small devotional every day as we went through Holy Week, just to kind of prep our hearts for the celebration of the resurrection of Christ and really the basis of our Christian faith. And every day I would put out a video on different aspects of the Holy Week just as a devotional to draw us into worship. And so that's what I want to do again this year at the request of my wife, who I love. This year, I wanted to start it with like a Saturday, Sunday combo. We see that on Saturday, traditionally, is when the Passover would begin. It's a week long celebration that people come together, family members from all over the place. They would descend upon usually Jerusalem, have a celebration. They would bring in the lamb to be inspected and fed and cared for. That way they could prepare it for that Sunday meal. But really, what this week of Passover would have been about was for preparation. It was a week to prepare their hearts to remember the great things that God had done for them. And we're no different. We do the same exact thing. We want to take time to pause and remember the great things that God has done for us and bring all those things into remembrance, not only for ourselves, but for our family, for our community, and love and bless one another as we come through this Holy Week. Today is going to be, like I said, like a Saturday, Sunday combo. So yesterday would have been Saturday when all the family members are kind of descending. Today is Palm Sunday. People all over the world are waving their palm branches in celebration of Jesus's triumphal entry into the city of Jerusalem. They laid down palm branches because it was a symbol of a conquering king coming into the city, coming back from war, and they're declaring their love for him. And what the people were saying as they were laying down their palm branches, and they were saying, "Hosanna, Hosanna in the highest, Hosanna to the coming King." It was a political statement that they were making. They were saying to Jesus, "You have come to conquer our enemies in a political way. We praise you. Thank you for coming." What the people didn't know was that Jesus wasn't necessarily coming in for a political revolution. He was coming in to conquer the sin in their hearts, the disease and death and destruction, that great enemy of death itself. Jesus was coming to conquer that enemy. But the people didn't know that yet, and we're not there yet for me to dive into that. What I want to focus on today is this time of preparation. Maybe you guys have heard the story about the woman who breaks the jar over Jesus and anoints him. I wanted to read that for us and talk a little bit about that preparation that was happening there. So this is in Matthew chapter 26, is verses 6 through 13. Check this out. It says, "Now when Jesus was at Bethany in the house of Simon the leper, a woman came up to him with an alabaster flask of very expensive ointment, and she poured it on his head as he reclined at the table. And when the disciples saw it, they were indignant, saying, 'Why this waste? For this could have been sold for a large sum and given to the poor.' But Jesus, aware of this, said to them, 'Why do you trouble the woman? For she has done a beautiful thing to me. For you'll always have the poor with you, but you will not always have me. In pouring this ointment on my body, she has done it to prepare me for burial. Truly I say to you, wherever this gospel is proclaimed in the whole world, what she has done will also be told in memory of her.'" So this woman, who was she? A lot of people think that she was Mary, the sister of Martha, the sister of Lazarus. I don't know. Some people say it's the same lady. I don't really know if it matters a whole lot. What does matter is she was preparing something that she didn't even know she was preparing for. I don't even know if she understood the magnitude of what she was preparing for. Whether it was Mary, Lazarus' sister, or some unnamed woman, she loved Jesus so much she was compelled to break this very expensive jar of perfume over him. And it was done in such like this wasn't a normal event. This was something that made people gasp. Like, why would you do this? And it says it's Jesus' own disciples that had this kind of reaction to what was happening. Why would you do this? We could sell that perfume and give the money to the poor. Like they were so missionally minded, or so focused on the ministry, that they forgot to prepare their hearts for the thing that Jesus was saying was coming. Like he's been saying over and over and over, my time is approaching, my time is approaching, my time is here, my time is near. I'm going to the cross. I'm going to Jerusalem to die. Like he's been saying this over and over and over. They hadn't prepared their hearts yet. They're still thinking, man, we could be doing so much stuff. There's so much stuff to do. Let's focus in here. Y'all know I had surgery in November, and man, I came outside for the first time. It feels like this is the first time I've been out in my backyard since November, it feels like. And y'all, it's a mess back here. It's crazy. Like the amount of work that I have to do to get ready for the summertime, the turning on of the sprinklers, the cutting of the grass, the kids outside all the time, hosting y'all in our home, which is a blessing to us. This time of preparation is upon us, you know what I mean? And when the Jews would have this Passover feast, that's what they would do for their week. They would clean things out of their house. They're preparing the lamb. They're getting things ready for the massive feast. And it's like a week-long thing that they're preparing their hearts as we come to Christ for this Holy Week. There might be some times that we put aside some of the work. There's tons of work to do, trust me. There's tons of work for everyone to do. There's tons of stuff that we have going on at work. We got family members that are doing stuff. There's always going to be time for that. Like Jesus said, the poor are always going to be with you. The work of the ministry is always going to be there. What is your heart doing today? What is your heart doing this week? Are you preparing yourself for the celebration of Christ's conquering of the grave? Are you preparing your hearts for the fact that death could not hold him? Are you preparing yourself that all of our Christian faith relies on this moment? If this moment doesn't happen, all of our faith is in vain. If Christ be not resurrected from the dead, it's a futile venture. What are we doing? Why are we meeting? Why are we having folks over? It's a book club at that point. No, this is the event. As we prepare for Easter, as we prepare for our Passover meal that's happening on Saturday, I pray that this week we could prepare our hearts for these things, for this massive celebration, and prepare to love each other, prepare to make joyous noise with one another, preparing our hearts for all of these things so that we can celebrate in earnest come Passover, come Easter. And I so look forward to having this time with all of you. You'll hear from me throughout the week. Please dive back into this story of this woman. Let me know your thoughts. I love y'all, and I hope you're having a great day. And honestly, I'll see you a little bit later as we continue to worship throughout the book of Job. And man, grace and peace, and I love y'all. Peace.